This is the Brandon D. Campbell podcast, where business and mindfulness meet to build a better leader in you. Here's your host, entrepreneur, mentor, and author, Brandon D. Campbell.
This week has been nothing short of amazing. I've been extremely busy marketing the book, Oh Brother, my debut children's book about two brothers, Omar and Michael. Their life growing up in a blended family, trying to build their brotherhood, understand who they are and their identity, while at the same time, this book is providing conversation prompts for families, having discussions centered around their lives, a discussion centered around the structure of their family, especially those who are in the blended family household. And so I spent some time in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I had a great interview with Good Day Northwest Arkansas. Thank you for having me. It was my first TV interview, marketing, promoting the book, Oh Brother, My Brother. Then after that, I immediately went like a mile away to KUAF to have an interview on the radio there. And that was a great interview. It was very conversational. Shout out to Cal, who did the interview with me. A lot of great questions, but I felt at peace, so to speak, especially during the interview. I really enjoy doing radio interviews. It's just something about it. I feel like I can, let my hair down, even though I don't have any hair. But I'm really humbled by the experience. Right after those interviews, I took a couple of stops at some local bookstores, went to Pearl's Books in downtown Fayetteville. Then I went to Dad Suggests Books as well on the other side of Fayetteville and introduced myself, shook some hands, and told them more about the book and why they should be excited about the book. And that's the thing about this journey. You have to be just as excited about the book as your publisher, and you have to get out there and tell people about it. And so I wanted to take the opportunity to connect with them. Also, thank you to AY Magazine for writing a great story. It was very well written, a story about my book, my inspiration for the book. Also, the challenges involved with storytelling and alternative voices. And so that was really interesting and it was well written. So thank you to AY Magazine. It's a publication that I've always wanted to be featured in for many years now, going all the way back to my days as the Little Rock Fashion Week founder and executive producer. And so I really do appreciate that opportunity to be interviewed by them. And I have many more to come. I've been called by several different media outlets to do a story on me, on air, also written stories as well. Today, I'm very excited about my participation in the Little Rock School District's Student Leadership Institute. It was a first of its kind event that the Little Rock School District put on, and I was on the panel speaking about my career journey and the path to a career in business. And one of the questions that really jumped out at me and I want to share with you, it was the questions centered around challenges. Questions centered around challenges and the skills that will be necessary for future leaders to be successful. And my answer to this question was adaptability being very important, relationship building being important, communications, another thing that will be very important, and also mindfulness. And the students had a lot of questions around mindfulness and how to develop great mindful habits. And I wanted to just share with them my schedule and what I do every day. And they were really curious about it. And I told them, one thing that is their greatest asset is their mind. And they have to exercise their mind, understand that they are not their emotions and they have to control their emotions with their mind. And so it's going to be very important for them to be mentally tough. And so I gave them some advice on the roller coaster that life is. And I shared with them that what goes down must go back up. What goes down must go back up. And no matter how much adversity you experience, you're going to have days where you're going to be very sad. You're going to be down on yourself. You're going to have imposter syndrome sometimes. But just know that it will get better. And you may be down today, but it's not going to last. Trouble doesn't last always. And during my explanation and telling them about these important skills, I shared with them my own journey, for the couple of years that I spent writing, the writing process of getting this book out and getting a publisher and the marketing of it. I shared with them the heartbreak that I felt, that I experienced as a professional, as a leader. I was working for a nonprofit, traveling all over the country. I was doing meaningful work that I was very proud of. I was making more money than I had ever made before in my professional career. Did a lot of great work, including facilitating like a $230 million broadband partnership and deployment in rural, poor neighborhoods in Alabama. And I was doing meaningful work, and I was very proud of myself until one day I was told by the organization, by my supervisor, that they were eliminating my department. And since I am a department of one, I was being let go. And here I am at the pinnacle of my success. Family is happy. I'm happy. Just, for this job, I moved my family 700 miles back down south. And here I am getting let go. I felt miserable. I felt like a shrunken man. I felt like the victim. I felt hurt. I felt angry at times. I did all that was asked of me, and I was let go. And as a man, everything has been centered around, for me at the time, was output and being able to be successful, also providing for my family, and life was going good. And now I had to ask myself, what do I need to do now? What can I do now? Who am I? Where am I going? And it forced me to tap back into the younger version of myself, my 15-year-old self, the Brandon who was creative, loved the entertainment business, loved managing, loved working with people. I just loved doing all of that. But I wanted to be a writer. I remember reading that book, The Friends by Rosa Guy. And I said, this is what I want to do growing up, when I grow up. I want to be a writer. I want to be a creative force, and I want to own my work. And knowing that I had this idea to do the book, Oh Brother, My Brother, I just really just poured into it and really threw myself into the completion of writing the book. That's what I really wanted to do more than anything. And as I was doing this book, I was really thinking about the healing process, all the different things that I have gone through. I thought about my childhood, thought about, how I was raised in a blended family. And honestly, writing and producing the story was therapeutic for me. I thought so much about, the ups and the downs, but I thought about healing. I thought about the trauma that I experienced. And I had to have some deep conversations with my mother and my father. And it just reminded me as to why this book was produced by me in the first place. And that is, I wanted to have a book that I wish I had growing up. And I wanted to provide this platform so kids can bond and connect further with their mother and their father, while at the same time promote literacy, but also mental health. And so if children, especially young children, if they are connected with their parents, they're bonding with their parents, that means that their parent is being emotionally available to them. So that is in itself is helping alleviate the effects of childhood trauma, because of what happens with the trauma if you're not properly developed as a child, or it goes into adulthood. Then you start developing maladaptive behaviors as a coping mechanism. That leads to substance abuse, mental health disorders such as anxiety, addictions, personality disorders as well. And so this in itself, this book and having the connection and experiencing this with your child and with your parent, it's developing a security attachment. And it's going to influence how you deal with adversity in your life. It's also going to influence your attachment style in your relationships with your significant others and your friends. And at the end of the day, I want to help create secure individuals, especially men who are healthy mentally, but also unite families. I want people to be together. I don't want division. And only because of your kid may live in a different house, or your dad or your mom may not be with you every day. I want a child to realize that their parent is still with them and they are strongly, deeply connected. And so I want to help develop the bond that's going to impact this child's life well into their adulthood, well into when they start having their own kids. And let's start the healing process a lot sooner than later. This book was a healing process for me, and I brought my children along the journey with me. When I was meditating, I asked them to come and meditate with me. When I was doing my workout routines in the morning, stretches and light workouts, even going to the gym, I brought them with me during that summertime to experience this with me. They didn't know this, but I was going through a healing process because I was terribly impacted, I would say psychologically, by losing that opportunity. But I learned that when you heal, the right opportunity in itself comes to you that's meant for you. Now I was attracting what I wanted and what was meant for me. And that's how, becoming a published author and getting that publishing deal with Home Press came about. Because had I not been healing myself or becoming more healed, I would have squandered that opportunity. I would have done something that would have sabotaged it. And so here I am today as a man who is a stronger leader, more resilient than I've ever been before. I'm a writer. I'm an author. So I'm achieving my goals, and I'm sharing it with you. And I'm just looking forward to when this book comes out February the 1st, that you will see the amount of love that I poured into this, and in hopes that it resonates with you and connects with you. So February the 1st, you can buy the book online at your nearest, closest bookstore. But also come down February the 7th to the Hillary Clinton Children's Library, February the 7th at 12 p.m. noon, and attend our lunch party. Come and meet me, meet my family, have some food, and let's celebrate this special occasion. This book isn't mine, it's yours. And so come and be a part of such an occasion that I believe may change your life. Thank you very much.